Welcome, everybody, to the show. Joining us is our co-host and fellow traveler, Dan the Dan Noodles Man, the Lord Buckethead of Wargaming. Dan, how's it going?
I'm pumped.
Tonight, we're going to talk about how to find Wargame opponents, and we will use Dan as our case study for the evening. So, Dan, how do you find Wargame opponents?
With a lot of time and travel that I don't wish to invest in, and issues with traffic and those crazy young people driving up my ass. And hey, I guess I'm old. I can't.
And your video feed is gone awry. As I don't know, I'm not getting video signal from you now. There you go. It's fine now. Anyway, so you've got Stack up there. Are you closer or further to Stack now than you were before?
8 minutes further.
No, that's basically nothing. So
Stack's a good con when it happens for 3 days. People are pumped, man.
Everybody I've talked to who's been there says it's a fantastic convention that has been more miniatures-y in the past, but is growing increasingly board wargaming, which is cool by me.
Hold on a second. I never saw a miniature there in my life.
I could be full of shit too. I've never been there. Don't ask me for this information.
Yeah,
the people who go, you've been there. I haven't. You didn't see miniatures? I thought you said you see miniatures there.
No miniatures.
Oh, okay, cool. The
only miniatures I think was Memoir 44, and I was hosting the game.
Yeah, that doesn't quite count, really. I mean, I know it does. There's miniatures, but it's not
painting all of them.
It's a miniatures game, but not a miniatures game, if you know what I'm saying. It's like adjacent versus adjacent for the ASL folks here in town. So, slight editorial decisions have been made. What can I say? So, of course, going to a convention is a good place to hook up with gamers, especially if it's more of like a local or regional convention where a decent number of the attendees might, in fact, live fairly close to you.
I attended once. This hobby shop has a Wednesday night. Ted's Hobby Shop has a Wednesday night miniatures thing. That's what you're probably talking about. Okay. So I went there, and instantly you meet a lot of people, and it's all like, "Hey, man, come down every Wednesday, do this, do that." But I need a passport to get there.
Oh, well, you got to get that done anyway, though, don't you? To come down to Origins in June.
I got my passport.
Oh, so then what's the problem? Or was that previously a problem, but is no longer a problem?
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay, so I mean, And
I don't know about you, Ardy, but I'm 61 years old, and when I drive at night and those headlights hit my rear view mirror, something happens. It hurts.
That doesn't really happen to me, but I'll tell you, my night vision is bad. I feel like it's way worse than it used to be at my advanced age at this point. And my age is less advanced than yours. So I don't blame you at all. But you just drive during the day. That's no big deal. Now, you've also got a couple of good hobby shops up there in the Montreal area too, right?
Well, for miniatures and all that stuff, it's Ted's. But for board games, it's Valet Coeur.
Valet Coeur, which means Jack of Hearts. Okay, I thought it meant Valet of Hearts, actually.
I mean, they have a lot of stuff and a lot of war games, and it's because of Marc Rodrigue, the guy who did the Tomahawks something.
That's the Tomahawks. Yeah, we've had Mark on the show. It was a great guest.
That guy, I think he volunteers his time at that place. Okay. So there's a huge wargaming thingy.
Okay, so that's understandable. Now, back in the day, and I still see this when I go into local hobby shops. So 2 weeks ago or so, I forget exactly when this was. 2 weeks sounds right. I had to go out to visit my parents who were about an hour away from me. So I drove out there, and while I was out there, I managed to visit a couple of the local hobby shops that are out that way. And at least one, I think both of them still had like a bulletin board that people could put, hey, looking for whatever. And usually what you see is looking for Magic, looking for D&D, but there's no reason you can't put a little tag, just like the old days, man. This is the most old school way to do it. You put a little thing with the pull tabs up on the bulletin board at the hobby shop. And you know what? I ended up in a group that I was in for like 12 years from from answering one of those pull tag things at Wings Hobby Shop in Lakewood, Ohio. And the Columbus Wargaming group that I was in for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. I first made the acquaintance of a couple of those people at Origins, right? Where me and one fella were like in multiple games together of Memoir 44, I might add.
You guys still keep in touch?
Oh, yeah. He's in my Traveler game, actually. That's going to start. We did character creation last Friday. It was harrowing, but because we had 10 players, we had to generate characters for. And it is an involved process.
John C. is in the Philippines, and they're getting bombarded.
That sucks. Let's hope John's all right, and everybody that is close to John is also all right. So... character creation, I think, was wildly successful. I really wish we would have had like an extra 2 or 3 hours, but at the same time, I was pretty baked by 5 hours in. It took us about 5 hours. So for 10 characters, that's not bad. Not baked like that. I mean, I was just like mentally, my brain had turned to oatmeal. By that point in the process, I didn't do a dick yesterday. I just started going through the characters today. So,
and don't forget, Ardy, I have an amazing unshrinking to do.
Oh, Dan has an unshrinking for us later on this week. I really want to put an OCS game on the table right now.
Meaning that you're flipping out, you're jonesing for an OCS game.
Yeah, I haven't played enough OCS lately. So, excellent. I hear this is a terrific event. I'd like to get there at some point. It just hasn't. The opportunity has not been practical for me for the last several years.
I actually knew about that.
So, about Traveler Con, or knew my schedule sucks?
No, Traveler Con.
Okay. Yeah, it's in Lancaster, PA, which is actually the same town that Historicon is in. And for some reason, the hotel is like $200 a night. And I'm like, it's Lancaster, PA. What the fuck is going on out here? I don't know.
Hold on. Historicon, the ones that, what is it? TV Wargame? YouTube?
Little Wars is involved. I forget what their exact involvement is by name, but Little Wars is out there. Yeah, it's one of the events that the HMGS, Historical Miniatures Gaming Society, puts on. They put on, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 events a year, and they all tend to be in this kind of in the general vicinity of Ohio or adjacent states. So they're all in principle, places I could go, except that I don't play miniatures. So Historicon was in Fredericksburg. It is now in Lancaster, I believe. Hey, I've never been to Historicon, so don't quote me on this either. Maybe I'm mixing them up. Maybe it was in Lancaster and now it's in Fredericksburg.
No, but there's a Historicon around your area, though.
Well, it's not my area. It's probably a 5-hour drive, but it's not that far. But there is another event in Ohio that is closer. I forget which one it is, though. So Lee Grant just woke up from the 12-hour character creation session. It only felt like 12 hours. So... another good way, of course, to find... I mean, I'm talking thus far about face-to-face opponents, right? Which is how I prefer, frankly. That's how I prefer to play. But playing over Vassal, of course, does have its advantages. Fall In. Agray Day mentions Fall In, which is another one of those events.
And you know what? The best way to meet an opponent is go to a con. That's close to your house if you can.
If you have local conventions, yeah. I mean, and to be honest, I mean, we are incredibly wealthy in terms of conventions here in this upper, Midwest area that I happen to be in.
Yeah, you guys.
Which includes, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. There's a lot. There's a con on the Cobb. I forget when it is. It's like in September or something like that, but it's like 20 minutes from here. Winterfest is like 20 minutes from here. And that's a week of intense wargaming action. And it's looking good for World in Flames this year too. I'm happy to report.
So this is where you play your monsters, eh? Oh, I'm a happy little chipperillo, happy little chippy chip. Hey, this is what happens when the electricity goes away.
You know, I was hoping that switching to Linux, I would be able to not have to deal with these tab crashes anymore. And unfortunately, I'm on Firefox right now, and I have just had a tab crash. However, the computer has not crashed. I did have one problem, but I'm pretty sure it's something I screwed up. And I did have a problem where I put it in, I suspended it instead of shutting it down because I wanted to see what it would do, and it did not recover from suspended. I had to reboot it, give it a hard reboot.
You know, Ardy, when you went offline there,
you started singing.
Offline, I started singing, and the thing is that
I'm sorry, folks.
I'm reading the comments and I'm thinking, who are they talking about? That guy must be fucking crazy. And it's like, I'm fucking nuts, man. Why? Why
what?
Am I fucking that nuts?
We're all nuts, Dan. It's just we express our nuttiness differently. That's it. Richfield, which is where where the old Richfield Coliseum used to play. That's where the Cavaliers used to play when they were out in the boonies. There's really nothing over there now, and I believe the facility has been paved at this point. But yeah, it's down there. It was in somewhere up by Streetsboro at one point too. So, but yeah, no, we play my big Monster Wargame convention is Winterfest, and this year it starts in late January. So things are looking good. I've heard good things about UConn, but that's in Ann Arbor or Ypsilanti, something like that. And I've heard that that's a good convention.
What about RockCon?
Where's RockCon?
God, where's RockCon?
No, I'm still in the basement. I do have a renovation plan for this office at some point, which will involve doing some additional waterproofing just in case. As well as new shelving and stuff like that. So,
by the way, Ardy, as I'm reading the comments, Perfidious Albion says, you got what, 10 centimeters of snow? We got 25.
Oh, you did? We got nothing down here, but we're supposed to get wintry mix this evening. So we'll see what that looks like.
And now what's it? We call it it's glassing up now. It's raining and it's freezing.
Ice storm.
I'm gonna have a hell of a time on the little roads tomorrow.
Well, don't do that. But we used to have. There's not that many ice storms up here because of lake effect. But back in Columbus, we had usually a couple of ice storms a winter. So we'll see about BGF. I think there's a potential option for me to do BGF, but we'll see if that turns.
Oh, you guys are so lucky to have me like a huppy. And I'm smoking a McBaron Navy cut, and this is a custom pipe. It's so weird, but your wife loves it. It's so weird.
Anyway, Buckeye Game Fest. It's in Columbus, Ohio. I forget what the exact dates are, but it's probably March or April or something like that. So another tab crash.
Isn't that what, 4 days, Buckeye?
It's longer than that. It is actually Monday through Sunday, which sounds weird, but it's the whole week and then the weekend. But the War Room is the part of it that starts on Monday, like the main convention where they go play Euros and stuff. That doesn't start till Thursday. But in fairness, the Euros, the general board gaming room pretty much is hopping until Sunday, where the War Room, we pretty much wrap the big games up on Saturday, more or less every year. So, CincyCon, I've heard good things about this convention as well. And I think there's at least a small amount of wargaming there, because I do know a couple of people that play war games that go. And I can also tell you that there is a reasonable ASL community down in that Southern Ohio, Northern Kentucky area, both of which is easy driving to this location.
Hey, man, we have Leonidas, the ASL of Leonidas in the house, George Otis. For
George Otis. I didn't see George. Oh, there's George. Very good.
I mean, what
Les
is it?
Nessman.
Does he teach in an army base? This guy's so like tack, 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 tack.
We bought WKRP turkey drop shirts for last Thanksgiving, and I think we're wearing them again this year as well. John C. from the sunny Philippines. John, glad you're doing okay. Hopefully everything's going okay down there, exactly where you're at, despite the inclement weather. Niagara Board Game conventions. This was I don't know if Al might remember. I forget. Anyway, I've heard this is a good convention too, but I have never been. And I'm not sure if I think it's on the Canadian side of Niagara. Is that correct? Or is it on the US side of Niagara?
Canadian. You're talking about what con?
The Niagara Board Games weekend. Apparently it's on the Canada side per Jeff. So excellent. Catastrophe Games now comes to Yukon, apparently. That's pretty cool. I want to say Tim Densham, who runs Catastrophe Games, is up there in Michigan or pretty close to it. So, the humanity. Oh, this is probably going to be an awesome event, John, I got to tell you. What? That's John C. from the sunny Philippines.
I know, but great campaigns of the American Civil War Convention.
Yeah, they've done this a couple times now. So every year at Winter Offensive, which is MMP's official January event, there's actually now a very substantial GCACW presence there. About at least a quarter of the convention is people there playing GCACW now.
That must be wicked, man.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, the year I went, that's what I did. I played I played one whole day of Long Roads to Antietam, which was awesome. So, man,
that to me that sounds real cool. I don't know why, but the American Civil War really attracts me. I don't know why.
We did the cool thing about GCACW is there are no scenarios in GCACW that feel to me like filler scenarios. All the scenarios are fun to play. They're all engaging. They're all historically interesting. They'll all show you something about the dynamics of what was happening in what the scenario depicts. So you don't as much have to like jump right into campaigns where you add a bunch of different, rules for supply and all that other stuff. So I've done it. Yeah, Ken Lee is the fella that has been running that at Winter Offensive, and I think he is at least one of the organizers of this event that's in Harper's Ferry as well. So they now have a whole GCACW event that's going to be at least this year is going to be in Harper's Ferry. So Rebel Fury is a really cool game, really elegant, really easy to play, really slick, really great design.
The GCACW there. Sorry, Ardy, I was reading the.
That's okay.
And where's it held?
Well, this GCACW thing is going to be in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Yeah. Well, Harper's Ferry is, of course, a significant Civil War location in its own right, Civil War and pre-Civil War. So, well, maybe you don't, but John Brown was captured at Harper's Ferry trying to raid Harper's Ferry, and it was involved in both of Lee's invasions of the North. So, it's a very important site. I can't really speak, Bill, to how well, because I haven't been to this thing. So my kind of guess is that you're better off trying this at Winter Offensive, where there will also be a lot of GCACW, and where I know for a fact they have newbie-friendly events of GCACW running.
And where is Winter Offensive? Winter
Offensive is in Maryland. I forget exactly in Maryland where it is, but it's very close to Baltimore. The one time we went, which was, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe something like that. We actually ended up driving Dean Essig back to the Baltimore airport on the way out.
And how was he? Was he talkative, Dean?
Oh yeah, Dean was great. Dean was great.
Can you the one up Tony Mammal?
This
Tony
one. Set up, yeah, there you go. Set up there. That's a great idea. The Plains of Abraham.
The thing is that I get all pumped up trying to set up things like that, and I'm sure I can get a few people. But then, man, it says it would just be me running the show. And what the hell, I don't got that energy, man. But
that is a substantial amount of work, right? And that's one of the reasons why there's been some amount of like tension at Winterfest, because the fellas that run it would also like to be able to play stuff. And the bigger the convention gets, the more difficult that's going to be to do, right? So I have admittedly not helped with this situation, because I do think a lot more people know about Winterfest now than knew about it a few years ago before I started yapping about it. But here on the internets.
The interweb.
Yeah. Now, so of course there is a monthly thread. So the way this works, there's a Board Game Geek thread that's like the monthly Vassal Opponents Who Wanted list. I forget exactly what it's called. And then there's one for each month, right? So there'll be one for, say, November 2025. And then that will get like attached into this list of things. So you subscribe to the big list, and then you can look at all the individual things when something comes up, when somebody's looking for an opponent for, presumably over Vassal. And they're not all war games, but the threat, as usually seems to be the case with this kind of thing, the war gamers were the people that set this up in the first place.
Martin 7W, Kings and Generals. Is he talking about the YouTube site?
I presume that he is.
Okay.
I would assume this would be the last, unless they want to cover Reconstruction too. But I need to catch up on Kings and Generals, actually. Kings and Generals and Epic History TV are both really good, like military history channels. So, and Winter Offensive is in Bowie, Maryland, at a Best Western. I don't know if it's a Best Western, I don't remember, but it's a Best Western level of hotel. It's not that nice, but it's fine, and it's not terribly expensive, which is, awesome.
Hey, John, that picture of yours, John C., that you must be at a wedding, but that's not an Italian wedding,
or a rodeo, perhaps.
But everybody's wearing white. But at an Italian wedding, everybody's wearing black.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or dark blue. No white.
Including the bride?
For God's sakes.
I mean, I don't know. All I know about this is that, we didn't really have any like old school Italian weddings. I was about a generation too late for that.
You've never been?
I won't say never, but if I did, it was when I was a wee lad, and I don't really remember all the ways in which it may possibly have been different from all the other weddings I've been to.
Here's a question, Ardy. What ethnic weddings have you been to?
Not that many.
Wow. Not
that many.
You've never been to a Greek wedding, an Indian a ceremony?
Nope.
Bloody hell.
I've been to an Irish wedding. That was fun. But I don't know if that. I mean, it wasn't that different from the Italian weddings I've been to be honest.
The thing is, the difference between an Irish wedding and an Italian wedding is, one, first of all, you both get hammered. And second of all, I think the food is a bit better at the Italian wedding.
I would tend to agree with that. Yeah, me too. I mean, that's kind of the prototypical Italian wedding that I think of when I think of big fancy Italian weddings. I didn't get married that way. My sister didn't get married that way, and my brother didn't get married that way. My brother and I, not at the same time, and not to the same woman, obviously, both got married in Las Vegas. So,
yeah. My real estate agent is an old friend of mine, Italian, and he comes from Calabria. All right, and he invited us to his wedding, and he said, "Don't bring an envelope," meaning that Italians traditionally bring money to help pay for the wedding. Right? Yeah. So he says, "Don't bring an envelope. You're invited. You're my guest." There was 600 people and 2 bands back to back, 7-piece big bands.
That sounds crazy.
Hey, man, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Anybody that's in the DC Baltimore area, down in that general part of the country, ought to have a very easy time getting to Bowie. It's at an ethnic wedding. Yeah, perhaps.
Are you kidding?
Nah, probably not.
No.
God, it's been. I mean, I saw the Deer Hunter. It was probably 1985 or something like that. So I don't remember the details. Now, what I have been to, however, is like the old Slovenian churches on the east side of Cleveland, and those are some interesting facilities. Let me tell you.
Oh, for sure, man.
So, so Vassal, of course, there's Wargamer opponents wanted Facebook groups too. I mean, I've more or less dropped Facebook at this point. I'm not paying it much attention to it, but
you know where I live, like for me, you know where I live? I live in a French district.
Yeah.
They play war games like I'm in the country, man. You know, you want to buy a lamb? You could buy a lamb, which I'm lucky I could buy a lamb.
You guys could play the French war games that we can't even play here unless we speak French.
There's no opponents.
So, okay. I mean, maybe you don't have an opponent in your immediate neighborhood.
Oh, come on. How far do you want me to drive?
But back when I was your age, I used to drive about an hour every Saturday, an hour there and an hour back to game. Oh, and we would start at probably 8, 9 p.m. and we would generally play till about 4 or 5 in the morning.
And how old were you? How old were you, Ardy?
Like 23, something like that.
I remember I could cut a tomato like a ginsu.
I can't really do that anymore, to be honest. I was wiped out at 1:30 in the morning when we finished making Traveler characters. Actually, this is one of the occasions that got me into one of those old Slovenian churches. Was actually an SCA event. So, but you've got, I mean, we know there's wargamers up there, Dan. You got Carl, for one thing.
All those guys in Montreal from Stack, they're all like, Dan, let's play. Dan, let's play. Dan, let's play. Yeah, you want me to drive? You want me to drive, first of all, in traffic. It's disgusting.
When do they play? I have no doubt that you have traffic challenges in Canada too, right? Well, especially the weather.
There's one guy who said he'd be willing to come to my house, Bobby Bala. There
you go.
But my house is not ready yet for people.
I kind of get that. Second Limit lives in the Shenandoah Valley. There we go. And his buddy and he drive an hour each way. So, I mean, maybe you don't do that like twice a week. Nobody's asking for that.
How old is that?
He's in our general generation. I can tell you that. Dan's closest large city is going to be Montreal, I would imagine, unless you tell me something different.
Cornwall, Ontario, Montreal, Ottawa is not, maybe a tack on half an hour for Ottawa.
Well, that doesn't seem that bad either, to be honest. Again, I don't know that I'd want to make that drive like every week necessarily.
I mean, every week.
Do you have like, can you take some kind of mass transit to Montreal?
You want me to sit next to some smelly guy? And look, I'm old.
I don't know what the public transportation situation looks like in Canada, to be completely honest. I can promise you that your experience driving from wherever you're at to Montreal on the bus will be less colorful than my experience driving to and from home to work every day on the bus in downtown Columbus.
Probably.
There were some memorable moments, like the fist fight that broke out. And I'm sitting there with my laptop bag, like, I'm not involved in the fist fight, okay? Like, the two guys in front of me start throwing hands, and I'm sitting there with the laptop bag trying to not get hit in the face on my way to work. Another time, there was a fellow taking a shower in the free hand sanitizer that they have on the bus. So, I mean, it was a colorful experience.
You know, and
another time somebody clipped the bus and then took off, and the bus had to stop and wait for like the code of people to come out and like clear the bus to keep driving or whatever. They clipped off the rearview mirror off the left-hand side of the bus.
Dave Poirier. First of all, Poirier. Is this guy the UFC fighter? Dave Poirier from South Africa?
I'm pretty sure I've met Dave. I'm pretty sure he isn't the same guy.
And you know what, Dave? You're right. You're right, 100%. Shut up, Dan. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, but my pants are dirty and they're in the washer right now, so I can't go.
Bill has been to both Montreal and Toronto. I have not been to either Montreal or Toronto, and in fact haven't been to Canada since I was probably 12 or 13 when I got dragged to Niagara Falls by my parents. And of course, I didn't, have any idea who Warfall. I mean, that was pretty much what I remember. And there was a fancy Italian restaurant, Casa de Oro, on the Canadian side. I don't know if this is still there or not. That apparently my mom thought highly of at one point until she didn't anymore. It's impossible to give my mom like Italian restaurant food, okay? Because she's Italian and she hates everything. So,
I mean, you're Italian. Her mother used to feed her. Imagine going to eat at I don't know, Casa Coffee or something. Are you crazy or what?
Imagine her reaction to Fazoli's fast food Italian.
Jesus, she must have had a heart attack.
She probably would if she even saw it. I'm not sure she's aware of its existence at this point.
Christ.
So, you got to get that out there and play, man. Ultimately, I know. And I'm as guilty of this as anybody. So we talk a lot about games, and we talk to a lot of designers, and we talk about designs and components and availability and prices and all this other stuff. And this was sparked by an email I got earlier today that I haven't read in full or responded to yet, but it's a fair point, right? These things are designed and made for people to play them, right? And we should probably prioritize that. I've heard this. I haven't really been through to the U.S. side other than to drive through it, though. And again, I was a kid, so
I never even seen Niagara Falls, man. My real estate agent, the guy I was talking to you about, he's connected. You know what I'm saying? He
one of those.
From, Niagara Falls.
How far is Niagara Falls from you?
Probably 2 hours at the most.
The Niagara Board Game Weekend. I think that's in January 2, isn't it? Something like that. I'll be stupid to be in the second half of December, so I'm going to assume that it's January. Art Lupinacci was the name I was looking for. I know Art is involved in running that operation at one point. Art's a nice guy, too. I've met Art a couple of times.
What a great name. The last name just rolls off your tongue.
Oh, indeed it does. Indeed it does. Exactly. San Diego. I did not get on the bus when I was in San Diego. I took an Uber from the airport to the hotel and walked to the convention every day. So I was good.
Charles, you met Charles at a convention, right?
No, I've never met Charles.
Oh, you've never met Charles? Okay, I was speaking to someone who met Charles or whatever. Charles, you get out. I don't want to get out. I'm comfy in my. I
get that, but I don't know about you, man. Sometimes I need to get out of the damn house. I felt like that today. Actually, I needed to get out of the house because I got sick last week and wasn't like I didn't leave the house all week. I don't think. And then we had something else come up this week, and I only left the house like once all week this week. So I was like, today I got an opportunity to go do some stuff, and I was thrilled. I like to go out from time to time. I like to sit around the house too. Don't get me wrong. But if you're sitting around the house anyway, Dan, I'm just saying, you bust out a Wargame, bust out RAF.
Yes, I was thinking exactly that a few days ago, and I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been.
Vince Reed, look what he called me. Up on top.
Dan, the Dan Can't Noodles, man.
Listen, that's pretty good, Vince. But I know where you live, so watch out.
Yeah, there you go. Jeff Beeler used to go to science fiction conventions. I have not been to very many science fiction or comics conventions, for that matter, despite the fact that I was pretty heavily into comics for probably about 7 years in high school, I think, and then for a few years afterwards, part of which were spent working at a comic book store, so I could get the comic books at a large employee discount, and I accumulated what wasn't that many comic books in terms of comic book collections, but felt like a lot of comic books to me when I had to haul 5 big long boxes of comics around.
So you don't have a huge Comic-Con around your area? Maryland must have Columbus, that place there where everybody goes. Columbus,
Ohio.
Yeah, no, but there's a convention center there.
The Ohio Convention Center, or the Greater Columbus Convention Center that Origins is held at.
I've been there.
There is a like comic / fandom event there, but I have simply never been to it.
However,
that was going to be what was it? There was Capcom, which folded many years ago, which was a gaming convention, which was held at the Ohio OSU Student Union, and then there's. I've had a busy day. I can't remember the name of the big convention that was like this was going to be the last one, and then some other people decided they wanted to continue it, so it is continuing.
What about the ArdyCon?
I don't know, man. We'll see when I can make that happen.
A lot of work.
I'm work. It is. You don't necessarily need 1 million people to run a convention either, right? We did what I keep calling, even though this is only a slight exaggeration. Back in the days of COVID, when we were all supposed to be on lockdown, one of the local Columbus guys just said, Winterfest got canceled. This sucks. I'm going to, ask a bunch of, because I know all these OCS people. I'm going to invite a bunch of OCS people to come by and we'll get the hotel space and a room to play in for the whole week. And they played OCS all week and they drew like 17 people or something like that. And they filled up a whole smallish room. But they had 4 cross-channel attack games going on all week. So I think at least one of them restarted at least once. And that was several years ago, though. So don't read anything about cross-channel attack specifically. But like I said, if you have each of these people chipping in like, I don't know, $75 to $100 or something like that to like help pay for the room, and then everybody's kind of figure out what the accommodation situation is on their own, then you can run a very successful small convention with a very small number of people. Wargames are actually kind of compact if you think about it. I mean, and these were not tiny war games either. I mean, we're talking cross-channel attack, four games of a 4-map game, right? So, I mean, it wasn't super duper small, but they managed to fit it in kind of a small hotel conference room.
Ardy, can I do my unboxing? Unboxing?
Yeah. Let's see the magical unshrink wrapping from Dan.
Okay, so last week, 2 weeks ago on the CHIT show, I said something ambush, blah 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 blah, something like ambush, right? And I said the only thing I'm missing is Silver Star. So, a guy sent me in shrink Silver Star.
That beauty.
Seriously, and look at the price.
Well, back in the day.
So, you know what? A game is meant to be played, right?
The pre-pottery Neolithic, I believe that price tag is from.
And you know what, Ardy? If I was a billionaire, and I think I said this before, and I had to buy that $3 million 1926 McCullen, I would. And I'd open it up like this.
Well, if you're a billionaire, why not? Why not?
Well, hold on. It hasn't been opened 1926.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I'm going to drink it.
Totally get it. I do not generally keep my stuff in shrink wrap. There are a couple of exceptions, and these are exceptions that were already quite old when I got them in the shrink wrap. And in all the important cases, I have other opened copies of that particular product anyway, so I'm kind of covered. Is that a 1-inch box?
Yeah, it's the larger.
Okay.
And this is the one to campaign for Italy. And first thing first, it lost its new box smell.
The thing's 40 plus years old, probably, so that's not terribly surprising.
Oh man, look at that! Look at that!
Look at that. I've got one Wargame product in, or is it 2? It might be. I have a couple war games in shrink wrap. They are extras. I have a couple of RPG things in shrink wrap, except for one thing. They are exceptions. Look at that, the cards and everything.
Look at that.
Very nice.
They're not even This is.
What was that in shrink wrap?
I'm freaking out.
That should be your expectation, is it's all going to be nice and shiny and new on the inside.
And all the cards that tell you where to go, like, okay, go there. Check this.
Yeah,
what was it? It was the wind.
Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with the fella that I bought my copy of Grant Takes Command from about this. And his position was he always opens them up when he gets them home, because that way, if you buy it new, right, well, it should be fine. But what if there's like a missing board or counter sheet or whatever? I've had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah,
and what happens if, you wait 5 years and then open it and then find out, and then it's a multi-man product, so you can't get it anymore. And you can call them up and maybe they'll have what you're missing and maybe they won't.
Yeah, but on BGG, someone's gonna.
Oh, maybe, but you might end up having to buy a whole other copy of the game too. So, the Victory Games reply card back when they were still in New York. Look at that.
Mark Herman had his hand in this.
Oh, of course he did.
Oh, man. I'm so thankful. His name is Mike. Mike something weird, man. But
oh, yeah, I gave him your email address.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you knew.
He asked me. I knew it was coming. I wasn't sure it would arrive quite this quickly.
God damn! I could have had a heart attack.
I have on multiple occasions. I have unshrink wrapped older things that I have gotten. I did I bought a shrink wrapped copy of Source of the Nile at a half price books back when you could get stuff at a reasonable price at half price books. So quite a while ago, and I sat on it for 2 or 3 years before I ended up doing an unboxing video of it. I had a Harn, it's first edition, but it wasn't like the first printing. I had a Harn box set in the shrink wrap that I eventually did an unboxing of for that too. And up here on the shelf over here is a shrink wrapped copy of what I believe to be a 1981 Classic Traveler little black box in the shrink wrap. And Mayday's in the shrink wrap too. But that's not the little one. That's the bookcase box. Look at that.
Yeah. Welcome to Italy.
Now that is not a standalone product, right? You do need the ambush core set to use it.
You need ambush. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna get it on the table. You
should.
It's a Hollywood game. This and this and that. Fun.
What? I mean, as long as you understand that and are cool with it when you go into it, I see no issue with that at all.
Yes. The issue with this, for me, being ADD, the place where you have your battle there, the chart where you have your battle, who goes first, pink goes first, second, shoots first, this and that, was a bit confusing for me.
Okay.
It's confusing again getting into it.
You haven't looked very closely at Pacific War, have you?
Pacific War?
Mm-hmm. The big one.
No.
I'll tell you what, Victory Games was really experimental when it came to things like combat resolution systems and stuff like that. Because if you look at just a few games off the top of my head that I can think of, Joe Balkovsky's Korean War, Eric Lee Smith's the Civil War, the Pacific War is one of them. Those are 3 Victory games. Vietnam 65 to 75, 4 Victory games that I've played, all of which have radically non-standard combat systems by today's criteria. So they were really thinking outside of the box at Victory Games, and they came up with some real bangers as part of that development process.
Now, Meandering Mike says Silver Star and Purple Heart, another module, says prepare to have half your guys die. Is there any way that you can survive your squad for at least a module? The whole shebang. Can you survive the whole shebang?
Yeah, cheat.
Ah, Christ. I hate cheating.
I mean, me too. Especially a solitaire game. I mean, what are you even doing? You're cheating playing a solitaire game. I don't know why you'd be playing. Yeah. I've never played Panzer Command, so I can't speak to the combat resolution system, but it's the first board war game, at least, with the CHIT pull mechanism in it. It's like point economy that kind of runs the chit poll system is very similar to what we see today in GTS. And this was not a secret, right? Adam Starkweather talked about this when he initiated that series in the first place.
I think I have Panzer Command. Didn't they do
Panzer
like 3?
No, you're thinking probably of East Front and West Front Tank Leader, I think, and those were from West End Games. And there was a Desert one too that was called something different.
Thank you.
So those are supposedly coming back from Compass too. I just don't have any. I haven't heard any recent information on those. I don't know if that is an effort that has been abandoned or not.
I was talking to Wes. Is it Wes Craven? I keep thinking of Wes Craven. He just started a company with Warfrat Games.
Ryan Heilman. Wes.
Right. Who's Wes? Wes last name?
Wes Crawford.
Crawford. I keep saying Craven.
I had a different Wes in my head, and it wasn't Wes Craven.
Wes Montgomery.
Wes Huff was the person I was thinking of. This completely different fella.
I was listening to Wes on mentioned in dispatches with Brent. They were talking about
and I'm
they were talking about the similarities between the music business and the war game business, meaning that you're gonna go broke. That's all. And what the hell was I saying? Wes Crawford, oh yeah, he's at I think Wes is at Compass. Compass is happening now, right? The con.
Compass was that this weekend or I think that was last week. I think Compass Expo wrapped this weekend. So today's was the last day, I think.
Yeah, I remember saying, hey, Wes, I don't know, kiss someone we know there for me. And he says...
Stuka Joe would never buy a war game by Wes Craven. There was, remember that Nightmare on Elm Street game that Victory Games, I think, did back in the day. I never played that or touched that. The movie was okay.
No, I don't think Stuka Joe plays any other game except war games. But anyways... What the hell was I saying before I was interrupted?
Wes is at Compass Expo.
Oh, yeah, Wes is at Compass Expo. So I said, kiss somebody we know. He says, no. I said, well, why don't you go kiss Bill Thomas? And his answer was...
And me not there to get this on video.
And his answer was verbatim, fuck no.
Fair. I think that's fair.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, John C. Compass Con just finished. That's what I thought. It should have wrapped today, as far as I know. Looking at the calendar. I had a good time every time. I went to 3 Compass Expos. I had a very good time at all of them. I just, also came home with COVID. Two of the 3. So
I think I remember that.
So we'll be giving that a little bit of time. I don't really have the flexibility to hit Compass Expo at this time. So,
hey, did you know that Consim World is back on?
Yeah, John sent an email around to the whole mailing list a couple days ago, I think, about Consim World News is back on. The convention was never off. Well, I think there was a period last year, I think, where it was briefly off when their site. They had some kind of site. I think that was the one in Dallas, though. The expo in Tempe has never had a serious interruption that I'm aware of, except possibly for COVID, and I don't remember exact because I wasn't there. But the forums have all been going. But like Consim World News, where John puts out like these bulletins and stuff like that's back now.
I'm glad it's back.
Yep, I got to meet John C. for the first time at this Compass Expo, and then got to see him again at WBC the following year, I think, something like that. Was this Victory Games, or was it might have been, or was this Avalon Hill?
Yeah, I remember Mark talking about that. That was their best
selling
game by far.
No, that was Dr. Ruth.
Right.
I don't know anything about the Playboy game. Right. And I get, of course, Mark has great stories about he got to drive Dr. Ruth around New York when she was there when they were doing the deal or whatever, which had to be an absolutely memorable occasion, I would assume.
Yeah, I heard it. It's funny.
And apparently it was. The zombie games though have been done very successfully by a number of different people. Herman, it's one of the things that got Herman a lot of notice back in the day when Herman first started was the zombie thing.
I learned of Herman through Dawn of the Zeds, the second edition, and he makes the best zombie games. Period.
I am prepared to, as a person not into zombie games at all. I have no doubt that is true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, are we doing that? Oh shit!
So Victory Games did do the Playboy game.
Apparently, yeah. John C. says that they did the Playboy game as well as the Dr. Ruth game. The reason it's easy to get this messed up is A, it's a long time ago. B, of course, Victory Games is owned and financed by Avalon Hill. And C, Avalon Hill did a lot of weird stuff too, like the game of herbs and spices. That was like sponsored. That was like sponsored by McCormick. They did the Smokers Wild and Drinkers Wild games. They had the Witchcraft Kit. They did a lot of crazy outside the box stuff too.
Hey, you got to live, man.
Yeah, so that would actually be not a half bad show topic. Here's all the weird shit that Avalon Hill did over the years, and even SPI had some real oddball things, right? You have Dallas, the television role-playing game, for one thing. But then there's Up Against the Wall Motherfucker, which was, I think, originally done for the Columbia Student Newspaper, but SPI printed it at one point, too. You can usually find this on Noble Knight, by the way.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man.
So, there you go, Dan. You are responsible for the zombie soundtrack.
Yes, I remember. Thank you, Joe.
They had a huge line of sports games, too. Golf, auto racing. They had multiple basketball, football, baseball games. They had an ice hockey game, which was not Slapshot. That was Columbia Games. Smokers Wild and Drinkers Wild actually both originated out of Gamma 2 and ended up at Avalon Hill, by the way. Along with a number of other things from Gamma 2, including Napoleon. Well, at least Napoleon. But yeah, they had a huge line of sports games. I personally played Status Pro football and Status Pro baseball back in the day. Yeah, man, and I had fun with both of those, actually.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think somebody has said this. I think somebody's probably doing like the new team roster cards for those games.
Hey, ID Jester, he's going crazy.
Yeah, Status Pro baseball. Yeah. Stratomatic, of course, is like the big baseball game that's still around. I know they still make stuff for that.
Hey, I got a title for next week.
What's that?
The weirdest games around. How's that?
That's not a bad show topic, actually.
And you know what? I would think the peanut gallery participation, but we have to have the pictures for this, though. That's the thing.
Yep. Yeah. That college basketball game that Avalon Hill did, I can't remember exactly what it was called. March Madness, actually. There's still tournaments of that running at WBC.
I think it's called college
football. I'm talking about basketball.
Oh, sorry.
They did a college football game, too. We got to get to Maurice, actually. Mike is right. We got to get this done.
I know.
I didn't know that, actually.
Comeback. Was that the... Stuka Joe says comeback. Was that the... Now, Joe, I didn't think you knew that.
Well, there was a game called Comeback Football or Comeback Baseball or something. Comeback something. I don't remember what it was. Bowlbound was the college football game. Maybe that's the game I'm thinking of. One of the cabs fellas in Columbus literally practiced for 6 months for one of these old Avalon Hill sports games and a tournament at WBC. And I think he won, too. So,
Jesus.
Oh, there's been I would love to try that, actually. There's a card game, there's a gangster card game from Mayfair called Family Business that is a fucking riot to play. I mean, you play it like a cheesy gangster movie, right? It's a riot to play. Just a ton of fun. Another gangstery thing that's good to do, actually, is this guy. To this day, I think this is the best standalone RPG that TSR ever did. Gangbusters. It is a fabulous game.
And it's only that module? That's it?
they did a couple adventures for it too. They did maybe 3 adventures for it, of which I have 0. And I'm not sure I've ever even looked at the adventures, but just the game is there's all the classic, like you could play like the gun mall or the gangster or the private dick or the prohibition agent. It's awesome. It's just awesome.
Stuka Joe, yeah, I think Ardy, let's bank on that.
We should do that. Even MMP, well, I wouldn't say that they've stepped out very far outside their box. They've done some interesting things too, like that. They've done that little folio thing. I forget what it's about. Market Garden, perhaps. Thinking more deeply on it, I was thinking of Circus Minimus, actually. But that was actually done by the gamers before they got acquired by MMP.
That's a Nessa game.
That was Dean, yeah. That was Dean basically doing the same thing to Circus Maximus that he did with Europa in saying, this sucks, let's do it better. In that, Circus Maximus is a friggin' classic, okay? But if you were designed to, it would be actually super instructive to take Circus Maximus and do a side-by-side comparison with Charioteer. Because it's a lot of rules. Circus Maximus, by today's standards, is kind of rulesy for what it is. So, vulnerable Bo Jackson. I remember Tecmo Bowl, where the best player on any team was Bo Jackson. I got Circus Maximus too. Not this past year, but maybe it was this past year. But I thought it was the year before. There was a big, like 8x6 foot Circus Maximus where they built the Circus Maximus and played with miniature chariots around. And I stopped to talk to them for a couple. They 100% use the old Circus Maximus rules. So it's a classic game.
Boost and Memo, yeah. I always wanted to get that, but it's only $15. But
what is this?
It's you gotta match 2 boobs to the same boob person.
Oh, okay. That sounds sophomoric, but okay.
Yeah, of course it's sophomoric. After 12 beers, you tell me if you ain't playing that game.
Yeah, that's fair. Shardanzar, Circus Maximus is a regular over there. Yeah, it's a classic. It's classic. I actually have to play it. Circus Minimus, I'm not sure if they still have copies of Circus Minimus, but it has not generally been difficult. I don't. I think I had it at one point and I got rid of it. I probably shouldn't have. Do you like games about gladiators, Dan?
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Yes, I have Gladiator by Avalon Hill. Even the one by Lock and Load. Some other game, I forget.
Good price, actually. So FASA actually got started as a publisher. The Fredonian Air and Space Association was what it was originally supposed to stand for, and they forgot about that within a couple of years. But they got actually started doing Traveler stuff, and then they started doing their own games until they hit it big with BattleTech. And from there on, they then later did Shadowrun, Earth Dawn, and Crimson Skies, and whatever else they did. And those same folks are still all. I think one of the Weissman brothers passed away maybe 10 years ago, but the other one is still around and is still actively involved in the business side of gaming. Exactly where that is, I'm not sure, but
I didn't get the airplane reference, and I don't remember the conversation.
That's okay. Greg Smith, of course, I forget what this is called, except Blood and Sand is Greg's Gladiator game. And he's been doing tournaments of that with like prizes and like wooden gladius, which is an awesome prize. I'm like, Greg, that's fucking awesome. At Compass Expo. So I anticipate that game's going to be a hit, personally. Plus, Greg's good too. Oh, yeah, Renegade Legion. That was their own thing. To be frank, let's say that they were heavily inspired by many of the various Japanese manga giant robots that they had seen when the time came to do BattleTech. Renegade Legion is sort of kind of back now. It's at least a spiritual successor to Renegade Legion. I talked to those folks too. last year or this year at Origins, and I was like, "Boy, this looks a lot like the Renegade Legion stuff," and they're like, "Oh no, it's totally different." Except it's using those rules for licensing reasons. So I think the universe has been retooled. This was a whole thing. The Renegade Legion series. They did Centurion, Interceptor. There was one for capital ships. There was one for planetary invasions. It was actually a really cool and ambitious series of games.
John.
Question, John. I'm sure you would not be allowed to carry that on, but as checked luggage, I'm not sure it would be an issue. At least here, I don't know. I've never tried to carry a wooden sword on the plane because I'm not a knucklehead. But they're at Cleveland Hopkins Airport. This is the big airport in Cleveland. There is this big glass display case, such as you might see in like I don't know, a grocery store or something with the glass, It's a closed case with the glass, and it contains all of the crazy stuff that they have confiscated from dipshits trying to take it onto the airplane, including baseball bats, chainsaws, nunchucks, there's a couple guns and knives in there too, of course, nunchucks, razor-edged playing cards. Just absolutely nutty stuff that people try to take on the airplanes. So it's almost worth flying through Cleveland just to see that. I'm not sure. Now Dan has crept out. I'm not sure what happened. All right. I never got to play these. Interesting. I've seen this. I remember this Dragon Riders of Pern game from Mayfair. And I've read the original trilogy of books, too, and I didn't read any more. Let's hope Dan will be back here. Although we are over time, so if Dan comes back, we'll just wrap it up. The Combat Commander Trophy is a replica grenade. I wouldn't know. I don't do it tournaments. 183 games on BGG with gladiators as a theme. What happened to Dan? He's probably still talking. Oh, that's interesting. Aggrade Day says Sam Lewis is a senior game designer for ZeniMax. They do Fallout 76 and the Elder Scrolls Online. That's very interesting. There is no point in arguing with the TSA people. They're just doing their job. They don't make the rules. It's their job to see the rules. So, indeed they did. Their RPG. Where's Dan? The FOSSA Star Trek RPG, which is also down here, by the way, is actually has some very interesting things about it that I think I'd love to see in games today. To be honest, here he is. There he is. What happened? Dan, I was singing the entire time you were gone.
You know what? We had an electricity flash, an EMP. Mm-hmm.
So I will close with this. The FOSSA Star Trek game had several products written for it by legendary author John M. Ford, who wrote like a bunch of novels that are very well regarded, as well as a bunch of stuff for FOSSA Star Trek and GURPS, and he's no longer with us either. Those were some really interesting things, and I frankly thought that the John M. Ford take on the Klingons was pretty interesting too. There were at least 2 and possibly as many as 3 editions of the FOSSA Star Trek RPG. But like Star Trek RPGs in general, there have been at least 5 or 6 other ones. I like the new one from Modiphius. I think it's pretty good. All right, we are out of time. This has gone fast, Dan. We should not talk about how to find wargame opponents more.
Hey, next week, let's do either Morris Suckling or weird war game games that war game companies put out.
Well, let's see. If we have a guest next week, it'll be that. But if we don't have a guest, maybe it'll be weird war games, because that is a good one, actually. That is a good one. Gladiator games would actually be. I might do that on the Counter Clipping show, actually. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up. I want everybody to have a great rest of the night. You too, Dan. We will see you all again on the flip side.